Okay, my stools are, my stool frames, I guess I'll call them for now, are looking great. I just want to show you what I've got here with this trimming these dowels. It's important to use a really sharp tool. I started using one that wasn't so sharp, I guess I'll put it that way, a little bit dull. But this just makes easy work of doing this. Just glides right through that dowel. And there you have it, done. So I'm going to show you one more where I trim it with my flush trim saw. So let me rotate my setup here. I've got to get to a different one. It's on the bottom here. Hang on one second. All right, I lied to you. I'm going to show you one more kind of a long range view of what I'm doing here. Let me do this. Let me turn this around. This is the incredible holding power of this thing. I think it just makes it so much easier to do stuff like this. I mean, there I'm all set. So now I can just take my saw, kind of flush them up. And then come back in with my chisel and finish the job here. There you go. And that's how easy it is to do it with this vise. So now I can take and rotate it, and just repeat the process here. And then the other thing I wanted to mention was that if you're doing something like this, you don't want to take your chisel and just start forcing it through. First of all, when you get to the end, you're gonna have so much force on it, you're gonna probably end up gouging your work. You just want to just take nice little slices, and with a sharp chisel, it doesn't take that long, as you can see here. There you have it. Okay, now back to the music. Well, here's my next setup for sanding. If this is working out beautifully too, I'm able to sand the edges here, break the corners right here with my sanding block. Sanding this way and over the edge, like so, with 150. That works out great. Then when I get to this part right here, I'm able to hit it with my half sheet sander. And that works out fantastic. Well, I can go and break this inside edge. Well, that's nice. I don't know what I'd be doing if I didn't have this thing to hold it. I suppose I could come up with something, but nothing that's this easy. So I got ahead of myself a little bit there. Well, not really, I guess. I got to make sure that when I come back around, I'm going to make a pencil mark here. Just so I know that I need to sand that edge, or that face. So I'll rotate it once here. This face is done. The beauty of these blocks too, you can use, you know, all three sides and really get the most out of your paper. Guess I did that once. But when I get it up here, I get a little different angle on it. Okay, that feels good. Okay, so I know I need to do this face. That's 220 paper I have in there. All these parts were pre-sanded to 220. So basically, what I'm doing is just touching it up here, making sure that wherever there's a joint, you know, and they are very close anyway, but it's not taking long to flush these up at all. The other nice thing about these things, it allows you to get right into that corner and not get too carried away and, you know, ding this up with the paper. Okay, I won't bore you with too much more of this. Well, I won't bore you with any more of this sanding, but you can see why I'm really liking this Moxon. I just don't know what I'd be doing right now if I didn't have it. But like I said, I'd probably figure something out, but I don't have to. So I like that when I don't have to worry about figuring something out. All right, we'll be back here on probably when I'll get them all sanded, and then probably the next thing we'll be doing is working on the seats. So we'll see you in a bit. All right, time to change paper. I want to show you how easy this is. I've already got my paper cut, but loosen my knobs, off with the old, bend the new piece of paper here. I shouldn't say bend it, crease it. Just going to sharpen up those edges a little bit. And back on. Okay, and just hold the paper tight as you tighten down the knob. And that's it. That's how easy it is to change paper on these things. And now I'm ready to go back to work here. Well, that's right, I wasn't going to bore you with any more sanding. All right, I'll be a couple days, but we'll be back. See ya. Well, if they all turn out this nice, I'm going to be a happy camper. That is a nice joint. There's my half laps. And this one. Beautiful, I think. And these up here you'll never see because the stool seat's going to be sitting right there. Got a little work to make that flush, but that won't take too long. Anyway, very happy with the way. This is the first one that I've completely sanded. And when I get done doing something like that, it's just hard to keep your hands off it, but really looks nice. And it's strong. I mean, from working on it with the sander, half sheet sander, in this vise, the thing doesn't vibrate, doesn't move. It's can be a nice stool. All right, I'll keep my promise now. Later. See ya. Okay, I got my stools all sanded, and I am really pleased with the joints. The one thing that I did not turn out as expected was, and this is the worst one, so it's got this little wobble in it, right? So these two legs are high, and these two legs are short. So what I've done is I hold down on the one side here, and I've got, basically what I've got is like a credit card and some playing cards. And I came up with this combo of one credit card and a couple of playing cards, and now it's rock solid, okay? That's not to say that the floor it's going to sit on is going to be perfectly flat, but this saw tabletop is the flattest surface I got. I tried it on the concrete floor, but wherever I go, I can get different, measurements. So I'm going to work with this. So I take this, and pull it, and I measure it with my caliper, and came up with 50 thousandths. So that means that I need to, if I can find a pencil here. Well, I'll get it in a minute. I need to take 25 thousandths off of both of these legs. So I'm going to do that. I'll do the same procedure on the other three, and I have less work to do on those. One of them is almost perfect. That'll take very little doing. But I wanted to show you the worst case scenario here. So this is the one that I'm going to need to work on the most. 25 thousandths off of both of these legs. And then I can go to work out with my seats here. So let me get busy on that, and I'm not sure, to be honest with you, how I'm going to do it. If I'm just going to do it with sandpaper, or if I'm going to do it with, scribing a line, and maybe, because that is a sizable amount on these two, using a fine tooth saw and see if I can rip that off of there. I don't think I can do it on the table saw, although that might be a possibility. I'll think about that. Whatever method I come up with, I'll show you, but I don't think this would be too bad. If I got my sliding table set up and clamp this, I could probably take off, set my blade at this measurement, although I don't want to screw around with that too much. And the other thing is my blade tilts this way, and I need it to go this way, so I'd have to have it on this side of the blade. I can't do that. Well, I could, but I'd have to use my miter gauge. Now we'll see what we come up with here. I'll let you know. So anyway, that's what's going on. I've lost track of where I am. I got to get my pencil to mark these two. Yeah, gotta start these two legs. Anyway, I'll be back after I get that figured out. I've been at this for just a little while. I've actually only done about 8 strokes on each of the long legs. And I'm right, this is a 80 grit PSA paper, by the way. And the reason I'm doing it here is I can do the leg and then bring it over here inside of my extension wings and try it. And so you can see I'm very, very close. So I'm just going to give this one, I'm going to give it just a couple of strokes, and then that one a couple, and then we'll see where we're at. That's it. Just a fraction. Just a fraction. Maybe one more stroke on each of these here. There it is. Okay, so that's it. So now all I need to do with these legs I was sanding, which is these two, yeah, is just hit them again a little bit because I rounded off these edges or broke the edges when I was sanding them in my moccasin. So I'll make a little mark on the bottom here and dress those edges up again. But that one's done. And that didn't take long. It only took me about less than 5 minutes. Okay, that's it. All right, well, I'll get the rest of them done the same manner, and then we'll get to work on the seats. Even there, you can see if I move this around on my saw tabletop, I get a little wiggle here and there. Well, that might be because I was on my insert. No. Yeah, well, that's gonna be flat enough. Because once you sit on this thing and put some weight on it, I think that's gonna take the wiggle out of it too. I mean, it's within. It's within 1/1000th of an inch or less, probably. Just a little hair there. Oh, that'll work for me right there. This is the last one. And I've only been at this probably maybe 10 minutes total. So 80 grit paper was the way to go. Don't have any risk of ruining anything with a blade. So, and I kind of like this. It's kind of nice to get a real-time estimate on what something like this would take too. I did clean my paper off just a little bit ago with my vacuum to get some of that sawdust out of there. Makes a little bit of racket though. Close. and just depending upon where I set it on my saw tabletop, I get just a little wiggle, but right there, I get nothing. So that's what I'm gonna go with. All done. 15 minutes. That didn't take too much at all. I thought that was gonna be an hour-long ordeal. Okay, I'll take care of these bottoms. You know, I'll round these corners off that I sanded on. Get them back the way I want them so they don't get chipped out when you move the stools. Got to do a little work on the top. You can't see that right now, but right here you can. These are just a little bit off, some of these. I can do that with my half sheet sander. I can bring that back in, I think. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll come back in a little bit.